rappers, they talk too much, saying I can't use the N-word in this battle.
This rapper got caught up for using the N-word while another one found himself dangled over a balcony. Both of them were white rappers who learned the hard way from others. One of them, a white MC, showed up to a battle acting like he owned the streets, pretending to be a tough gangster. But he wasn't ready for what was about to go down. He got too comfortable and ended up slipping with the N-word. The battle rappers talk a lot of smack, and this one tried to get away with it, saying he couldn't use the N-word in the battle, but his opponent wasn't going to let it slide. Before the guy could even finish his weak line, his opponent was already on him. In one moment, the fake tough guy was trying to act hard, and the next he was seeing stars. The crowd went wild, with half of them cracking up while the others stood in shock. Speaking of MCs getting put in their place, have you heard about this next rapper? This guy got checked so hard in a battle that he ended up changing his whole career. We're talking about the epic saga between two of the most notorious names in the game, Machine Gun Kelly, the young gun thinking he could take on the rap god Eminem. This beef became a classic. When it comes to Slim Shady's family, that's a line you don't cross. Just ask J. Rule. Menk later complained, accusing M of blackballing him from Shade 45, saying, "My favorite rapper banned me from Shade 45. I wonder if Monk kept pushing the idea that his career was suffering because of that old tweet. But the real drama started in 2018 when Eminem dropped Kamikaze out of nowhere. On the track Not I Like, he went straight for MGK's throat, calling him out by name and ripping apart his whole style. M said, "If you want to come at me with a submachine gun, I'm talking to you, but you already know who you are, Kelly. I don't use subliminals, and sure as hell don't sneak diss, but keep commenting on my daughter Haley." Men thought he could handle it and clapped back with Rap Devil, saying, "I know you can't stand yourself now, trying to be the old you so bad you stand yourself." Huh? Let's leave all the beef in 50. M, you're pushing 50. Why you claiming that? I'll call Puff when you're the one that called Diddy. He went on, "I'll acknowledge you're the Jewot, but I'm the gunner, B. I got you in the scope, bro. Don't have a heart attack now." Mink broke him down line by line. "Yeah, I had enough money in 02 to burn it in front of you, ho. Younger me? Nah, you're the whack me. It's funny but so true, I'd rather be 80-year-old me than 20-year-old you. They'll be putting your name next to Benzino like the last motherfucker saying Haley in vain." Mink kept pushing the feud, saying, "Alien brain, you Satanist. Yeah, my biggest flops are your greatest hits." He was saying, "This is your moment. This is it. As big as you're going to get, so enjoy it." But you could tell the fight was dying down. In interviews, Monk started downplaying the beef, calling Eminem's diss out of touch a classic move when you know you've taken an L. This whole beef just showed that even in his 40s, Eminem was still a monster on the mic. It's wild how Iggy Azalea tried to jump into hip-hop, thinking she could slip in without earning her place, but the culture wasn't having it. Some big names stepped up to put her in check. First up was Snoop Dogg, who came at Iggy hard. He posted a meme of her without makeup, which many saw as Snoop calling her out for appropriating black culture while being white. Iggy tried to clap back, but Snoop wasn't backing down. He kept the memes rolling, even comparing her to Marla Wayans in White Chicks. Things escalated quickly. You mess with the wrong one, and you better be ready for a check. The whole internet was glued to this beef, with fans and haters alike chiming in. It got so intense that T.I., Egged's label boss, had to step in and try to smooth things over. "Boys and girls, I just got off the phone with my homeboy Tip, the king of Atlanta, and it's officially over. No more bad talk? I apologize. Yeah, I apologize. I'm sorry, I won't do it again." But by then, the damage had already been done, and Iggy's reputation took a serious hit. Snoop wasn't the only one putting Iggy on blast. Azalea Banks, another fierce MC, wasn't about to let Iggy slide either. Banks came in strong, calling Iggy out for cultural appropriation and biting off black culture. Azalea Banks took it to another level when she got emotional during a Hot 97 interview, expressing how unfair it felt that Iggy was getting more attention than black artists who had been putting in the work for years. She said, "At the very least, you owe me the right to my identity and to not exploit that. You get what I'm saying? That's what we're holding on to, like in rap and in the culture." Azalea didn't stop there. She doubled down on her criticism of Iggy, saying that Iggy was more of a pop star than a rapper. She went off, making it clear that only artists who are genuinely part of the culture should be in the rap game, basically telling Iggy to stay in her lane and stop appropriating the culture.
"Favorite rapper alive says my favorite rapper banned me from Shade 45.
Even before all the drama, Azalea Banks had been side-eyeing Iggy Azalea since 2011. Banks took issue with Iggy making the Ix's freshman cover, saying it wasn't right for a white woman who called herself a runaway slave master to be represented in hip-hop like that. I stepped in, trying to defend his artist, but Azealia wasn't having it. She told him to mind his business and stay in his lane. Oh well, the situation's sad cause I'm a very distinguished individual and I keep several. She needs to get her man before she comes talk to me cause get out of here. Where'd you learn how to read? Fredman's Bureau, like did you get your GED in jail? All these beats put Iggy in a tough spot. She was trying to make moves in the rap game, but kept getting checked by artists who felt she wasn't giving the culture the respect it deserved. She did try to address the issues, but it didn't do much to improve her reputation. Iggy Azalea also found herself caught in the crossfire of Eminem's diss on his Killshot track in 2018. He rapped, "You ain't never made a list next to no Biggie, no Jay, next to Taylor Swift, and that Iggy ho, you're about to really blow." Then, in 2019, M fired another shot. Compare me to Manson, Marilyn, or Charles. Compare me to Nas, Biggie, or Pac. Do not compare me to that Iggy exploited. After all the drama with Iggy being schooled by others, she found herself on the other side of the fence. Iggy had to step up and check a young white female rapper who was going too far Bad Bunny. This young upstart, who had stirred up some Dr. Phil drama, thought she was tough enough to come for Iggy. The beef sparked when Bad Bunny dissed Iggy on her track He by Remix, saying, "Don't compare me to Iggy, that old hoe is washed and I'm lit. Wouldn't pay her to wash up my whip." Iggy didn't hold back and clapped right back on Instagram, not even trying to be subtle. The drama then escalated from online beef to real-life confrontation when they both ended up at Cardi B's Fashion Nova event. Bad Bunny wasn't about to let the disrespect slide, but you'd think after pulling that stunt she would have cooled off.
In an L.
Kill shot was a leg shot. Rap double. We're talking about facts. You want to talk about man buns? Answer the facts.
I think people.
You want to talk about a hairstyle I wore for a movie, a blockbuster movie? Shout out Nerve. In a 10-episode Showtime.
Instagram. It became one of those on-site situations. Iggy played it cool though. When asked how she was going to clap back, she just brushed it off, showing she wasn't letting the drama get to her. I hope it wasn't alcohol. She's a little kid, she can't drink, right? What happened though? What caused that to happen? She said, "I don't know, is it over? Do I have to retaliate?" I can't, she's a little kid. Why would I? But Bad Bunny wasn't done. She hopped on Instagram, telling Iggy to keep her name out of her mouth. The thing is, Iggy was already treating her like she was invisible, not acknowledging the drama at all. Jerry Springer, "What kind of baby is this, Dr. Phil?" "Oh my God, I'm a grown-up," Iggy commented, brushing off Bad Bunny's attempts to stir things up. Bad Bunny might have had some buzz, but she was definitely punching above her weight, trying to come at Iggy like that. Now, speaking of rappers getting checked, let's talk about how even the biggest names in the game can get humbled. Take the story of one of the most respected MCs in hip-hop who got put in his place by arguably the biggest G in the game, Vanilla Ice. Vanilla Ice blew up with Ice Ice Baby, but he got a serious reality check from none other than Suge Knight, the baddest G in the game. This wasn't your typical rap beef, it was straight up street business. Vanilla Ice was riding high, thinking he was the hottest thing in hip-hop, hanging out at the Palm in West Hollywood, probably feeling himself. But then, in walks Suge Knight with his goons. Suge wasn't a rapper, but in the hip-hop world, he was like the final boss you didn't want to face him. Suge walked right up on Ice, uninvited, pushed past Vanilla's security like they weren't even there, and stood right in front of him.
You with the wrong nigga. And your nigga better check you for what I do. You funky. Yeah, you. Boys and girls, I just got off the phone with my homeboy Tip, the king of Atlanta, and it's officially over. No more bad talk. I apologize. Yeah, I apologize. I'm sorry. I won't.
Suge Knight was about to show Vanilla Ice what really good meant. Next thing you know, Suge rolled up to Vanilla's hotel with his crew and took him up to the balcony. Here's where things got wild. Suge wrapped up Vanilla's entire entourage, then started talking to him one-on-one, face-to-face. Vanilla later admitted he was shaken to the core. Can you blame him? When you've got a guy like Suge Knight treating you like you're about to be a human yo-yo, you're definitely going to be scared. Vanilla Ice admitted, "Show me how high it was up there, you scared. I needed to wear a diaper that day." Suge convinced Vanilla Ice to sign over his publishing rights, which Suge allegedly used to kickstart Death Row Records. Knight later claimed, "That is an acquaintance of mine that had nothing to do with that song. You signed over the rights to him so Suge and them could get paid for it. How much were those points worth? Between $3 to $4 million. Vanilla signed them away and walked away alive. When people started asking questions, Suge played it cool, laughing like it was all a big joke, but in the streets, everyone knew what went down. Did you do that? People asked. No, it never happened. Never happened. You didn't take him out to the balcony. They pushed. How does that sound? It sounds like what occurs in other police reports involving you again and again. There's a pattern. Now, let's switch gears and talk about a different kind of battle, one involving a white female rapper who thought she could get away with using someone else's bars. This rapper stepped up to the mic, spitting what she thought were some heat bars, thinking no one would catch on. "It's that black market I'm shopping. I'm the first queen, no option," she rapped. But her opponent, no rookie, was listening closely, and something wasn't sitting right. "No, hold on, honey, cocaine," they said. "I swear to God, I heard that before." The rapper tried to play it cool, shaking her head like her opponent was just hating. "Hold on, I'll play the song right now," she said, attempting to backtrack. But her opponent pulled out his phone, queued up the original track, and let it play. The crowd went wild, realizing this MC had been...
or black music or whatever, there's always this like undercurrent of kind of like you. There's always like a, yeah, like y'all don't really own it, like y'all don't have, you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
And that Macklemore album wasn't better than the Drake record. You know what I mean?
The battle was over before it even really started. The rapper tried to save face, but there was no coming back from the L. Speaking of getting caught slipping, let's talk about how the Island Boys got put on blast by some real heavy hitters. Kodak Black and Fly Soldier thought they could just roll up into the rap game with their wild hair and poolside freestyles. But they weren't ready for the heat that was coming their way. First, comedy legend Kevin Hart and rap legend Snoop Dogg clowned them on their year-end special. Snoop, a true og in the game, took one look at their viral video and called them straight-up goofballs. Tried to make it to the All My with a G-gang, G-gang. Got to use that word? Snoop said, losing all hope in white rappers. Kevin Hart couldn't even keep it together, cracking up and clearly not taking them seriously. I'm speechless, two goofs in the pool. But it didn't stop there. The Island Boys thought they could flex on Blueface, a real street rapper with credentials. But Blueface wasn't having it. One of the twins started running his mouth about Blueface's girl, Cries in Rock, and Blueface shut that noise down quick, reminding them that he was a real G. Nothing you say about that situation is going to make me seem like more of a gangster or make you seem like you're saying something substantial. So just leave that alone, Blueface told them. The Island Boys tried to come back with some tough talk, but Blueface brushed it off, showing that they weren't on his level. Now, speaking of rappers getting put in their place, let's talk about how Lil Kelpie thought he could flex on a podcast, but Almighty Suspect wasn't having any of that noise. Kelpie was up there spitting about how the SWAT team rolled up to his crib, trying to sound like he was really about that life. But Almighty Suspect wasn't impressed. He wasn't about to let Kelpie slide with that fake talk. It wasn't long before things started to get heated. Ray, they came in, they pulled me outside some undercovers, and they drew their guns on me, and that put me in the squad car, and then they all just were inside my house and yo, we got to warrant to search your person and your vehicle, and but Almighty Suspect peeps right through Kelpie's fog, calling him out for playing dress up and pretending to be something he's not, kind of like Blackfist M. You know what I'm saying, like that kind of like a costume, you get what I'm saying.
And to not exploit that shit. You get what I'm saying? That's what we're holding on to.
Right, it's like he came in here thinking he could play the role, acting like this was what pimps were supposed to look like. Kel was popping off, thinking he could go toe-to-toe with Almighty Suspect. But things got heated real quick. Suspect wasn't here for the act. Kel started talking big, still running his mouth. Who are you? I'm Kel, the clown bro. Ben Franklin knows who I am. But Suspect had enough of the nonsense and snapped back. I'm getting M every day. I said Franklin knows who I am. Who you calling a clown? He wasn't having it. Someone's always gonna call your bluff. And if you're not ready to stand on business, you might find yourself in a world of hurt. Next up, this rapper thought he could get away with just saying whatever over a beat, but Lil Pump got his card pulled by not one, but two heavyweight MCs. First, Pump decided to flex with some disrespectful bars aimed at the Asian community, making slant eye gestures and throwing around slurs. Smoking on dope, they call me Yao Ming, cause my eyes real low, he rapped, trying to get a rise. China Mac wasn't having any of it. He put Pump on blast, demanding respect for the culture. When you make these Asian jokes, you pull your eyes, you say all this chase stuff, feel disrespected by that. You gonna put some respect on my culture, on my people? You ain't gonna make those statements without getting checked. If nobody else is gonna say something to you, I'm gonna say something. Pump tried to backpedal, but it was too late. The damage was already done. Sorry, and I apologize.
It's fine. So put her in the pop category. Put her with Katy Perry and put her and Miley Cyrus in the same box together.
Don't put her in hip hop.
Don't put her in hip hop.
But she's rapping over a beat though.
But just because she's not singing.
Posting that. It was not my intention to hurt anybody. I got Asian homies. I respect everybody, Pump said, trying to save face. China Mac accepted the apology, but kept the pressure on, making sure Pump knew there were real consequences for disrespecting the culture. I appreciate that. Respect each other's cultures, man, China Mac said. Let's do that. But Pump didn't learn his lesson. Fast forward, and the fool decides to come at the rap god himself, Eminem. Pump hopped on Instagram talking smack about M like he had the stripes to back it up. Hey Eminem, you is lame as hell. Ain't nobody listening to your old shay. You lame ass FK, Pump said, thinking he could pull a power move. But Royce the Five stepped up, promising to slap Pump so hard his shades would land in a different genre. Even Chuck D, a true UGG, had to weigh in, comparing Emine's stadium shows to the tiny gigs Pump was doing. He went in, breaking it down with a line that hit hard, WP so fanger, bang chicken wang, mink, Iggy, Little Pump why ill imitate Lil Wayne. I should aim at everybody in the game, pick a name, I'm fed up with being humble. Pump, realizing he was way out of his depth, quickly backtracked. Shout out to Eminem, shout out to M, man, he said, trying to save himself from the storm he just stirred up. But the damage was done, he wasn't on M's level, and everyone knew it. Speaking of rappers getting checked, there's another white rapper who thought he could get away with some disrespect, but he learned the hard way.
Bodyguard pulled him out and sat down next to me right there and started talking to me. How you doing?
Uninvited.
Totally uninvited. I didn't even know him.
See him again?
Sure did. Saw him again a few months later. He did the same thing, just kind of showed up to me, said hi, and then left. Still thinking, well, wow, this guy knows where I'm at all.
Could just spit hot fire, but ended up catching hands. We got this white MC stepping up thinking he's about to body his opponent. Instead of coming with bars, he's fronting with a fake piece, trying to look hard his opponent. The black rapper with real straight C ain't impressed. He's looking at this prop gun like it's a joke, and without missing a beat, he slaps that fake heat out of the white boy's hand. The white rapper, though he ain't got the sense to back down, instead of taking the L and moving on with the. So, after thinking he could still salvage his pride, Tekashi 6ix9ine decided to up the disrespect, acting like he was untouchable. But he wasn't. The rap community wasn't having it anymore. This guy thought he could play both sides, acting tough on the outside while snitching behind closed doors. Well, the real ones in the game weren't going to let that slide. First up, Vince Staples, who's known for keeping it real, had enough. He took to Twitter and asked his million-plus followers if 6ix9ine had ratted on him. But that wasn't all. Vince went even harder, bringing it up on Joe Budden's podcast. Vince bet that 6ix9ine was going to end up snitching on everyone, and Joe Budden, keeping it blunt.
Brought over there that was an acquaintance of mine that had nothing to do with that song.
You signed over the rights?
Signed over the rights to him, so that Suge and them could get paid for it.
How much were those points worth?
$4 million, $3 million, anywhere between there. $3 to $4 million.
And you just signed them?
Signed them.
As always, straight up said 6ix9ine was going to end up dead. We made a gentleman's wager, Vince explained. I don't know what I want, but I should win something because he told. It's good for hip-hop, though. It's important. Vince continued, calling out all the fakes with a reminder that some people had a fake hood pass and kept getting away with it. He didn't name names, but it was clear who he was talking about. But the heat didn't stop there. Cardi B had to get involved when 6ix9ine tried to drag her name into his mess. He tried to tie Cardi to the 9 Trey gang in his testimony.
Did you do that?
No, I did not.
It never happened?
Never happened.
You didn't take him out to the balcony?
How that sound?
It sounds like what hers and other police reports involving you. Again and again, there's a pattern.
And that was a bridge too far. Cardi wasn't having it. She shot down the rumors with a tweet, but that wasn't enough. She went off on IG Live, making it clear she wasn't part of any of that nonsense. If you know the type of situation the streets are gonna put you in and you get locked up and you snitch, you shouldn't be in the streets, Cardi said. That's why we don't feel bad for snitches, cause you had that choice from the beginning. In the end, snitches always get stitches, especially in the streets. 6ix9ine might think he's untouchable, but the real ones always call him out. And that's the bottom line. That's the kind of energy these rappers are bringing, standing up for what's real in the game. And if you get humbled by other rappers, you better take it as a lesson.